A number of people have asked me about the elephant lawsuit, and I want to provide a brief explanation here about why I filed it and what the history is. I applaud any child who takes action in the world. The whole elephant issue in Los Angeles began with a group of students. They called themselves the Elefriends. I was teaching at Crossroads and New Roads, and these kids were amazing. They decided to focus on elephants. They decided to make that their cause. This started in 1996 with this group of kids. They were 12 to 17 years old. Everything that you see in the media, everything that you see in City Council began with this group of kids. Some years later, I met Juliette West and her father, Lee West. Juliette came to our adoptions in the Palisades a few times and volunteered. At her father's request, I mentored her because Juliette formed an interest herself in elephants. I'm also a filmmaker and produced a film called Elephants and Man, a documentary about elephants in captivity. After I saw the success of that film, I decided that I wanted to make a more commercially broad film that would educate the public at large about elephants in captivity around the world. My writing partner and I approached Juliette West to see if she would like to be the protagonist in our new film called Elephant Girl. This was to be the story of a young lady from the West Side who goes around the world seeing what elephants go through in captivity, thereby changing her consciousness and thereby changing the consciousness of so many other children her age and letting them know that elephants in captivity is not okay. Juliette and her father, Lee West, enthusiastically agreed. Lee West told me he would raise the money. He then set up a meeting with one of his clients, Michael Tobias. I brought the treatment to Michael, explaining that we wanted to show elephants in captivity and the whole issue through the eyes of a young girl, and the name of the film was to be Elephant Girl. Over the next months, emails were exchanged and meetings were set by Lee West. Here's one such email I received from him. I will call you today and we can hit your points of yesterday and today. I believe Juliette needs more time with you, one-on-one. Your ideas have to be put to her as well as your arguments. It will eventually become hers as she says it in her own words, but now she's too timid to speak out without rehearsal and ammunition that must and should come from you. She can certainly draw upon her reading, but how to express it, and with conviction and with authority, will come at first by mimicking you and your stance. After 5 months, the emails dwindled and came to a halt. The following year, I was asked to be on the panel of the Artivist Film Festival. I was shocked when I learned that the film, How I Became an Elephant, was the story of elephants in captivity as seen through the eyes of a young girl. And that young girl, that protagonist, was Juliette West. Michael Tobias was the executive producer, and Lee West, her father, was featured prominently in the trailer. And here is the mission statement that appeared on their website. How I Became an Elephant is the brainchild of 14-year-old Juliette West. When Juliette began learning about the plight of elephants in circuses and zoos, she decided it was time to do something about it. She knew she needed to discover a way to educate people on a large scale. She wanted to illustrate the connection between elephant abuse in America and elephant abuse in Asia. But how? Juliette knew the two issues are connected in a big way, but how to deliver that to Americans was her challenge. When Juliette met animal advocates and filmmakers Tim Gorski and Michael Tobias, the seed was planted. They devised a plan to create a film for the youth of America with Juliette as the voice for the elephants. I applaud Juliette West's actions on behalf of elephants as I would applaud anybody who tries to make a difference in the world. However, telling the truth also matters.